planned $500 million stock offering. Upstart, Barclays ups to overweight. Obviously, that stock has been surging past couple of days on earnings. It looks like it's up again. This is interesting. Billy, ticker BILI. Deutsche Bank starts at a buy with 110 price target. It has earnings next week, but more importantly, haven't seen many analysts come out and say, yeah, you should start buying Chinese stocks. So here's one that's doing that. We'll see how that goes. Morgan Stanley, cut to neutral at Seaport Global Securities. And that's what I have for you today.
Awesome. Thank you, Ed. Appreciate it. And now with the opening bell, we'll turn our attention to analysis of the NASDAQ composite here. Chris, we have Thinkorswim from TD Ameritrade up, the candlesticks for the NASDAQ composite here. Give us your take on the action that we've seen this week, a continued support, at least for now, at the 21-day line.
Yeah, and definitely. So the composite touched the 21-day on Wednesday, and then came up, still a little down that day, and then yesterday the Qs came down and touched it, and then reversed immediately, and so had a nice reversal. The thing is, it's not that big of a pullback. I don't know if we're going to be shooting higher here. I mean, SPY has been hitting new highs, and I think it's probably, if it's up, yeah, it should be at a new high. So yeah, just hitting another new high, but just inching up, day after day. And let's see, the rotation, yeah, it looks like the rotation is actually, there's a good mix, both growth and rotation plays seem to be both moving, not super strong, with the market just kind of flat right here, but.
So you're gauging that by your portfolio, the IBD Live Ready list?
Just looking at a couple different lists, like Swing Trader, both FAS, the financials are up. So just a little bit, but it's not like we're seeing any big swings one way or the other.
And just a reminder for everyone, FAS, that entry on Swing Trader was on this day here. Now, John, give us your take on overall market conditions and your thoughts with where we stand. And you're on mute.
I had my big dog sitting next to me moments ago, and he had just come in from his workout, so he was breathing.
His workout, I love it. I feel like that makes sense that your dog works out.
Yeah, well,
awesome.
I think your viewers would have wondered what that heavy breathing was.
Otherwise, it's all good.
So overall, Allie, what I'm thinking is that growth, even though it's been tremendous, especially earnings growth that you guys have reported on, it's been outrageous. I mean, S&P 500, it's up over 80%, the growth of those earnings. Some as high as 90%. I mean, just crazy, both year over year and in some cases quarter over quarter numbers, just blowing away expectations. But, because you knew there was a but coming, the GDP, the gross domestic product, is not and has not been growing as fast after that one really big pop we had. They'd expected significantly higher GDP. And instead, what we're getting significantly higher is inflation. And we keep saying it's transitory. And as this is not pinning anything on one administration or another, but for decades, they have carved out food and energy from the estimation of inflation. And they say, oh, absent food and energy, everything's hunky-dory. And quite frankly, it's not. There is a lot of inflation in the system right now. But we know that the Fed is going to let it run hot. So this is not me being Pollyanna and running around saying, oh my God, sell everything. Not at all. The two massive hands under the market, one is the Fed. The other is this potential $3 trillion or more in additional spending that is going to be spent over 10 years. So most strategists don't get to opine about things 10 years into the future. But if you know, based on allocation of those monies, if they come available, if House and Senate pass that through reconciliation and the president signs it into being a law, that 3 trillion would be spent over 10 years. So 300 billion a year in additional hand under the market. So we haven't quite seen the growth in that domestic product, like I say, that we had hoped for. Some of that is because the openings have been delayed. Some of it has been because, quite frankly, we don't have enough supply of workers to match the demand for a lot of different assets, whether it's hotel rooms, getting on planes, whatever it might be. I mean, Spirit and American just over the last 2 weeks canceled literally 600 or 700 flights because they couldn't get enough crew to the airports. That's noteworthy. And one of the reasons, like I say, that we keep pushing off the recovery into the next quarter or even into 2022. So with that said, Ali, I'm still bullish, but I'm not surprised that we keep setting records, sort of like Alexiev, if you remember Alexiev, the big weightlifter back in the 70s and 80s on, I'm really dating myself, but on Wide World of Sports, the guy would set the world record by 1 pound each time he did a clean and jerk or a snatch in those, super heavyweight categories. The market's doing the same thing. We're not running up 3% to the upside at a record. We're soft in the morning, kind of rally into the close, and we finish with a quarter or 0.5% gain. And that's, I think, what we can expect because of what's I've just described.
Yeah, so many factors that investors need to be aware of when making their decisions, and we'll have to see if any of that uncertainty or negativity starts hitting the market. And now let's turn our attention to Disney. Not that one. I want to go to my other screen. Had two screens up. So here we have Disney here. So up about 3.7% off of its open, it looks like, but still a gap up this morning, John.
Yeah. And like I say, I like almost everything that they're doing. And a lot of people had questioned whether or not Chapek would be able to continue the magic. I think the answer is that he is continuing that. He hasn't had to be out doing a lot of the deals that Iger did or that Eisner before him did, but he's been managing pretty well the ship, if you will. And so I think we're going to continue to see a lot of the streaming. I think one thing, obviously, this is not a comment on Scarlett Johansson's lawsuit as much as when you release something in a theater, obviously, and